The Premier League 25-26 season is about to kick off, and I'm making my predictions video of how the table will look like at the end of the season. Before I start, if you like, comment, share, subscribe, and let me know what would you change for this Premier League prediction table. In 20th place, I'm gonna have Leeds United. Yes, Leeds United have done really good. And the signings are really good. The strategy is they get really tall players, and that would actually, give them upper hand against other players who don't have taller players and they're more technical players, and in that way they can have an advantage over the opposition. And it's a great tactic. But I think caliber players, they're pretty decent, but they're not. I don't think they're better than the other Premier League teams. They got a great goalkeeper in the Lyon goalkeeper. He's really great. Perry was his name, and the idea is quite, is emphasized on big and size, and I feel like it's a great side. It's not going to be like how Southampton did last season, which was absolutely woeful, but I see them getting rock bottom. I know it's hard to choose who's going to be getting rock bottom, but I think out of all the teams, probably will be Leeds. And in 19th place is going to be Wolves. And it was close between Wolves and Leeds, who should be rock bottom, but I'm going to put Leeds at rock bottom and Wolves at 19th. I'm saying Wolves are 19th, and for 3 seasons, ever since like Neves left, people have been tipping Wolves to go down. I think this might be the season they do so, and I think Wolves, they lost Cunha, and yes, Strand Larson did great as a striker from last season, but I'm not too sure who to replace Cunha with, so maybe my bad on that. But I see them getting weaker, and they're not like Brentford who can just rebuild like that. Or I just feel like they haven't got the best recruitment, and I just see them going down. They don't have that star power that they did last year, like as of Cunha, who went to Manchester United. So I think they're gonna be relegated at 19th place. Sunderland. Now Sunderland, they've made some great signings. They've got Granit Xhaka and a plethora of other players, and they're done really great. They've signed more players and they've arrived Newcastle. That's something that Sunderland fans want to brag about. But I feel like they'll go down and it'll be close, but they'll be relegated with at least 1 or 2 games after the season. And I feel like they're going to go down. Granit Xhaka, great signing, but I don't think him alone will save Sunderland. And you got to remember, this is a Sunderland team that went through the playoffs, so they weren't even got automatic promotion. They did come third, I think, so or fourth. Credit to them, but they were way off automatic promotion. And Sunderland, and I'm kind of happy that they're there, but I think they're going to get relegated. It'll be close, but I think they're going to get relegated with like 2 games left, and I just don't see them surviving. I wish they did, but I don't see them surviving. Now to summarize, the 3 relegated clubs I predict will be relegated will be Sunderland, Wolves, and Leeds. And Sunderland in 18th, Wolves in 19th, and 20th Leeds. Okay, now we go to the people who survived, the clubs who survived, and 16th place, 16th place, we're gonna have Burnley. Now I feel like Burnley gonna survive. Last time out, they had Vincent Company and they played that tiki-taka type football, like they tried to, and they weren't like Southampton awful, but they were pretty bad, and they just didn't seem to succeed Championship football, and they were okay, but it's clear that this tiki-taka type system really requires great players, and that's something that Burnley didn't have, the technical players to play the tiki-taka system. Now this time around, they survived relegation, and they've conceded only 16 goals in 46 championship games. It's pretty impressive, and they had a great goalkeeper, but they sold him. And I feel like you've done okay, and I just feel like this time around they have a good chance to survive, and I think they will survive. And last time people were saying, Burnley was in the Prem, they were saying that Burnley are going to finish on close to mid-table, 12th, 13th. And this time around, they'll survive relegation, but just by like 1 place. They'll be like 16th place. And I think Burnley are probably the most likely to survive. And I think they will survive. And that's my opinion. In 15th place, we have Brentford. And Brentford, they lost the manager, they've lost the key player, they've lost their captain, and they replaced them with less proven players. I'm not going to say they're less adequate because still, they could. Now Brentford are, they could just make them play good for a bit, and if that makes sense. And they're just less proven players. And the manager is obviously less proven. He's a system manager, but the Brentford people, they know him, probably love him, which is why they entrusted him, or else they would have just got someone else. I think they really trust him, and he can kind of replicate what Thomas Frank has done. I think he probably, I mean, we don't know how he manages, to be honest, but I feel like he'll do alright. He'll keep them up in 15th place, and yes, they have a great core of the team still. And Brentford, they could just reinvest the money into how they do. They can't do what Brighton do, and I feel like they'll be okay. They'll survive. They'll be okay. In 14th place, we're gonna have West Ham. Now, West Ham, they were looking to be good with David Moyes, but he got sacked, and they brought in Graham Potter. And Graham Potter, he's done good, but you've got to remember Graham Potter. What he did with Brighton is he got them promoted, and then he kept them 17th, and I think 17th, 16th again. But he makes marginal progresses, and then he made just one big jump with Brighton, that from like 16th, 17th to like 10th or whatever. And I think what he'll do this season is he'll gradually increase the league position, and that's why I see them as 14th place. And I think he'll get West Ham off the relegation zone, and they definitely survive, and he'll start incorporating his brand of football. I think he definitely will survive, and just more about how high can he finish, and I don't see being that high, and for that reason I'm gonna put him at 15th place. Now we got 14th place, and I think that belongs to Brighton. Now Brighton, I mean, they were doing good for like a good 2-3 seasons where they were upper mid-table, and I feel like they're slowly crumbling, and I feel like you need to reinvest more quickly, or reinvest in players who can improve them much more quickly. But maybe that isn't the better way, and that's why they're doing that. But I feel like they should really be doing that, and try and at least stabilize yourself in upper mid table. And I know it's hard to do, but currently they haven't really done that successfully, and I feel like they're slowly going down and the league table. And I feel this season they're definitely gonna be in lower mid table, and I see them in about 14th. In 13th place, we're gonna have Fulham, and I feel Fulham are going to be 13th place. It's not that they're too bad, it's just that the other teams are just looking to get better, and Fulham, they've done a decent bit, but I feel like they're going to be mid-table like they usually are, and it'll be between the last few seasons where some of the lesser teams are in European competitions will, they'll get knocked down and they'll start playing much more aggressively and start getting more points, which Fulham probably won't. And I feel like that's a major difference, that Fulham will get to 13th place. Okay, then next we've got 12th place, and it's going to be Nottingham Forest. Now Nottingham Forest are in a situation which is kind of weird. It's that they've never played European football before in a long time, and they've got the squad. It's not the biggest. It's not the biggest, I say. It's not too small, but it's not the biggest, and they need to get more players. And for that reason, I don't see them doing as good in the league. And I feel like for European football, they'll probably focus more on that than the league. And for that reason, I see them probably being 12th. And people are gonna say it's really strange. He finished, I think it was 7th, and at one point in the league they were 2nd. But I think they're going to be 12th, and as the manager, Espirito Santo, is going to focus on the Europa League probably more. And so I feel like Forest are going to be 12th. And in 11th place, we're going to have Everton. And I'm going to have Everton there because they're a solid club, especially with David Moyes now there, and they just signed Jack Grealish, and they're doing really good. And if anything, I probably underestimated them. They probably can go higher, and I think they will go higher. But I'm gonna put them in their 11th place, and I feel like they're a great team, a great squad, and I think what David Moyes is doing good, and probably the season after they'll probably get up to like ninth or eighth or something like that. For now, I'm putting them at 12th, 11th place, and at 10th place we're gonna have Bournemouth. Bournemouth, I think, are going to finish 10th. They have a great manager, and only really it's near the end of the season that they started falling off. And I feel like they've got a great squad. They've kept some of their players, and I feel like it's a great squad. And I really like Bournemouth, and I feel like they're a great squad. They can do better. They can keep getting better. And I feel like 10th place is a great finish for them, and I feel like Bournemouth fans will be really happy with that. And I'm putting them in 10th place. In 9th place, we've got Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace, they've just won the FA Cup. They've beaten Liverpool on penalties in the Community Shield. They can definitely beat the big boys, and that's where they're gonna get a lot of points. And I feel like in general they're just gonna do well. Conference League won't matter to them that much in terms of squad, because they get to play on the reserves and they still probably get to the final, because that's just how good the English teams are, better than the non-English teams. And I think they'll definitely get to the final, probably win the Conference League, but they definitely get to the final, semi-final at least. And by that they don't really have to play the main team in the Europe, so the main team can play in the Premiership, and I feel like that's where they do really, really great. And I feel like it's just they're destined to be ninth place. If Eze leaves, it's going to be a bit harder for them, but I still think they'll get to ninth place, and I feel like they'll actually keep Eze. But I think they'll end up in ninth place. Now in eighth place, we've got Manchester United. Man United, we're going to put them in eighth place. They have no European football, so they're all focused in on the league. And I probably should put them higher, but I'm going to put them at eighth place. And I feel like what Amram is doing is great, but he can really put it on to the next level. And I think he's gonna say that okay, we're gonna finish probably from 10th to 6th, anyway between that and we'll be okay. I think that's what they're gonna do. No European football, they have an advantage over the traditional big six, and they could sneak above them. But I feel like for now we'll put them in 8th place, just like Arsenal did with Arteta in his second season, I think. And will they win a cup competition? They have a good chance of. They probably might, but we're gonna put them in 8th place. Now in 7th place we have Aston Villa, and in 7th place we're gonna have Newcastle. And people are gonna be like, wow, why 7? They just finished 4th and 5th in the last 2-3 seasons. But I feel like once Isak leaves, he's not even gonna play, to be honest. And they keep getting rejected for a lot of the signings. Yes, they made good signings such as Alanga and Aaron Ramsdale, and the great players. And Eddie Howe's a great manager. I love him as a manager. And I just feel like with Champions League football and with it's really like how better the other teams are, and I feel that's gonna be a key thing. And for that reason, I think that I'm gonna put them in 7th place. In 6th place, we're gonna have Tottenham Hotspur, Spurs. And me personally, I don't like Spurs too much, so this is a big compliment I'm giving to them. And I'm putting them at 6th place. They just lost the European Super Cup final, whatever it's called, to PSG, and they were close to beating them. And Enrique said they should have lost. And it's a big compliment. They're the best team in the world, probably behind Chelsea, or the world champions Chelsea. And I feel like they're a great club, but they do have Champions League football, and they are actually, they have played in the Europa League, so they've had European experience. But I just feel like they're gonna be in 6th. They're gonna focus more on Champions League, see if they can, try and get close to winning that. And I just feel like they're gonna get 6th place. 5th place we have Aston Villa. I feel Aston Villa are, they head on for 5th place, and I feel like they definitely will get 5th place. And they got a great squad. Unai Emery has done a great job, and I feel Aston Villa will get 5th place. But I think Aston Villa really need a trophy, just like Crystal Palace. And Aston Villa are probably looking at the other clubs, thinking, we need a trophy. Newcastle got one, Palace have got one. We need some sort of trophy that we can parade around, just like Newcastle did with the League Cup. But I feel like he might focus on that. But I feel like in the end, Villa will get the 5th place finish, and I feel like I'd be happy with that. In 4th place, we're gonna have Arsenal, and this is a really controversial one, and it really does depend on how the other clubs above them do. But I'm putting them in 4th place because they've done great, but I don't see them finishing above Man City or Liverpool. And Chelsea, and also it's going to be a toss up between which one gets closer to the Champions League final. And I feel like Arsenal, they're basically known as crumbling, and I feel that's what they're going to do near the end. They're going to crumble, and that's what will make Arsenal go in fourth, and the team in third position will overtake them. And yes, they've signed Jokeris, and they're going to do great, and they want to sign a trophy. But I feel like because they want to go and get a trophy, what Arteta will do is probably focus more on cup competitions than the league, and I feel like that's how they're going to fall off. And it's a big risk, a big gamble that Arteta's doing. This can actually change legacy very much. If he doesn't win a trophy, but he gets fourth, fifth place instead of second, that will change the legacy. And it's basically a big season for Arsenal, him. A deciding season. Third place, we got my club Chelsea. I think Chelsea are going to finish third in the league, and we just beat PSG, the best team in the world, and we're world champions. And I think our club is so good right now. It's looking so good. And 2 years ago, people were like, oh, it's such an awful thing that we're doing. In my mind, I knew what we were doing, and I knew that in 2 years' time, you can only judge these things in 3 or 4 or 5 years' time, and it's come to fruition very early. And we're playing Champions League football. We got a young squad, a great squad, and Esteval's joining. And Esteval, he's like the best player ever. He's going to be the best player. He's like Neymar for us. And he's not going to start every game, obviously, but, and this Chelsea team is just excellent. We got the best midfield in the world. Our attack probably needs improving. Our defense probably needs improving. We do have two of the best wing backs in the world. Our goalkeeper, we're okay with Robert Sanchez for now. Probably go sign another goalkeeper next season, maybe, I'm not sure. And I just feel like we just look really good Chelsea now. And as world champions, we should easily secure a third place finish. But I feel like there will be a gap between second and first from Oslo, and we'll probably be fighting more for the third or fourth place, and hopefully we'll get far in the Champions League, like semi-finals, quarter-finals, that stuff. We have won it all, And next we got second place, and I'm going to put Liverpool in second place. People are going to be like, well, why? Liverpool have done so good here with the signings. Yes, they've done so good with the signings, but they need to embed the players. And yes, Van Dijk's great, Salah's great, and you got Wirtz as well, and Ekitike, and probably going to get Isaac. It's great signings, but they need to find a system that fits, and I feel like they're going to have a poor start to the season, and I feel like that's where they'll mess up in the league situation. And then the team that's eventually going to be finishing first, I feel like they're going to be near flawless, and I feel like that's the main reason why they're going to win the league. And I feel like Liverpool are going to finish second. Okay, in first place, we're going to have Manchester City, and people are going to be like, oh, they finished third. Yes, but they were really good near the end of the season, Man City, and they are a really resurgent team. Man City, they've just lost the league title, and last time they lost the league title, they went even crazier the next season. And I feel like Pep Guardiola needs this league title to get back in there, and he's definitely going to go and try and win the league. Guardiola, I think he'd rather win the league than the Champions League this season, just to assert his dominance and say to Slot, look, I'm better than you. And I feel like Guardiola, he definitely will try and go win the league, and winning the league is what he will do. And I feel like they'll win the league this season. And he just got, I don't know if you go 1-for-1, I don't think they're better playing than Liverpool, but with Guardiola's system, his tactics and everything, I think they'll do great. They'll probably get to a Champions League final maybe, and who knows, and they'll probably win a trophy somewhere, like a cup somewhere. And yeah, that's my Premier League prediction video. Let me know, what do you think? What would you change? Could you like, comment, share, subscribe, and let me know what videos would you like to see. Thank you for watching.